That's why Esau gets away with doing the same bullshit.
Yeah, because friends, you know, they talk about like that diabetes drug or whatever in America.
Oh, insulin.
Insulin.
Yeah. It costs like $3, $2 to make.
Yeah.
And they're selling it for like 400, 500% more than it costs to make. And people have just got, because of how they do health insurance, people just have to pay it.
Yeah.
Then you're just fucked. You're paying up. You need insulin or you're gonna die.
Exactly.
So it's like you die or you be in debt.
Yeah.
You just die, man. It's better. Just die. You might as well just fucking die, bro. I think it's worth staying alive. What the hell is there to live for, man?
And the worst thing is, Esau being the devil, right? He makes people hate on the herbs. So then these times there's actually herbs that can help you, you know, manage the diabetes. But Esau will call you a quack for trying to go that way.
And that's the thing. It's a $1 billion industry, the American pharmaceutical industry. This is why Medicare for all. What's his name? Obama. That fucking. Oh yeah. Well, there's Obama, but I was thinking what the fuck is it called? Bernie Sanders, man. That nigga. That's why he's never gonna get in the White House, because that shit's a business, man. Medicare for all, my black ass, man. That $1 billion industry needs to run, man. People are making fat checks off that.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much everything in Esau's kingdom. It runs like shit, but you make money off it.
Yep.
So it stays. You're more on...
Back in second Timothy, the 3rd chapter, verse 13. But evil men and seducers shall wax worse and worse, deceiving and being deceived. Or continue thou in the things that which thou hast learned and has been assured of, knowing of whom thou hast learned them, and that from a child thou hast known the holy scriptures, which are able to make thee wise unto salvation.
Yeah, that's the only method, man. Because what's all this information out here, all this wickedness out in Esau's realm, is that there's no salvation in any of that knowledge. It's all bullshit. You look into it, you start realizing, wow, this is corrupt, man. You learn how to run a big corrupt shithole by looking into Esau's shit. But actual life and salvation, that's only in the scriptures. That's why everyone out here dying, man. How's a motherfucker gonna be 30? How's a kid gonna be 8 with cancer? What the fuck's going on in your society that children are getting cancer, having to get chemo, dying or getting blazed with fucking radiation? What you have to think, somewhere we've gone wrong.
This is it, James, chapter 5 from the top. Go to now, ye rich men, weep and howl for your miseries that shall come upon you. Your riches are corrupted, and your garments are moth-eaten.
Yeah, the riches are corrupted, because all gone.
And it says, your gold and silver is cankered, and the rust of them shall be a witness against you.
Yeah, all that wealth, all this that Esau's amassed, it's not going to come to shit. And this whole system, the way Esau's monetary system works, is your money is rusting and deteriorating as you stand here, man. Every couple months, you get that QE, man. QE1, QE2, that quantitative easing, just dumping billions of dollars into the economy, so you're losing worth.
They changed the name now. It's quantitative infinity now. It's QI now.
That's a stone,
man.
you know.
It's infinity now, man.
Yeah, that's corruption. How you gonna? The thing is I remember I mentioned to someone that they must have been like 19. I mentioned I remember when Kit Kats used to cost 27p. They're like, 27p? No, you're lying. You're lying. I'm like, that's how fucked it is. Like you could even something as simple as that. Like a can of Coke for 50p. That used to be the standard. Now it's like you go somewhere, somebody's £1.20 for a can of Coke. You're just like, God damn.
10p, could say 10p no more.
The balance is of the sea.
Micah 6 and 10. Yeah, get it. The book of Habakkuk. We got Habakkuk already. Get Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter, was the 16th verse?
Micah 6 and 10.
Well, we can start from the 2nd.
And there, Micah 6 and 10, and there yet the treasures...
Are there yet?
Micah 6 and 10. Are there yet the treasures of wickedness in the house of the wicked?
Right, because the brother makes a good point. When you look at these different guys, how they make their money is through what? Skullduggery, wickedness, unrighteous monopolies. All right, what did they do? Let's look at the history. They went over to the Americas and they stole that whole landmass, that whole continent. They literally stole it. Argentina, Argentina means what? Silver?
Silver,
right? They stole Argentina. They stole Brazil. And you got to understand what that means. That's a huge resource filled with all goodly things. Then on top of that, they took the natives and the so-called niggas and put them in slavery, man. And weren't paying them. The only thing that they were doing was feeding them. And they were feeding them on throwaway scraps. That's why Jake got something called soul food, which is made up of what? The stuff that, the cheapest cuts. Pigfoot and oxtail, even though the oxtail sweet, yo. Oxtail and all them things there. So they weren't giving us the finest garments, the finest perfume. So slave upkeep was cheap. And they had Jake working for free, man. It's like the brother Ariella said, man, you want to understand how profitable that is and how efficient that is. Let's say you had one slave today, how that would change your life. Let's say you had one slave. Let's say you just had just one in your house. You might have your woman and your kid. Let's just say you had one slave that they do whatever you tell them to do. How much more efficient your household would be. How much more profitable. Now let's say you had 5. Now let's say you had 10. Now 20, 100. And you're gonna start to understand these people were making money. They were producing on a mad level. That's why the average Jake can't even understand how rich Esau is as a people. It don't even compute into their mind. They're rich. When they see rich, they just think of like a diamond ring or some form of jewelry, some rapper somewhere. They think them rappers is rich. They're not rich. That's why they go broke. You got Edomites that could never go broke. They could go on a mad spending spree for the next 20 years and never be broke. They got wealth you can't even translate. Okay, but how did they get that wealth? By stealing the Americas. When they all went over to North America, first they took the East, and as they kept finding more resources and more land that was worth something, they took it all. They kept pushing the Native Americans back and back until the end they gave them the land that was worthless. So they got the oil, like Texas, they're making the money off the oil in Texas, but that belonged to the Native American Indians, man. That should be, the Native American Indians should be balling it out like these nasty ass Arabs are all over London, running down to Knightsbridge, buying up shit from Harrods. Bunch of idiots. They don't even know what to do with money. Okay? So this and then it didn't stop there. They make money off wars, like the brother's saying of war. They're saying that, look at the hypocrisy. Oh, Iran was funding terrorism and arming. Who the fuck arms more people than Esau, man? The red Hebrew Edomite. Who's arming more people? What happened with Al Qaeda? Who gave Bin Laden and them their straps? These people are hypocrites, man. You brothers been seeing this shit, man? Yeah. This man literally blew a man up. They blew a man up with his team. They didn't even do a strategic sniper rifle, because I thought they were on that level according to the movies. They could bust bullets and they'd be curving around corners and shit. They could, they could take, they literally said, we're gonna assassinate this guy and we're gonna do it with the most collateral damage possible. So they killed like everybody that was some super Benjamite. Like, they just said, nah, anything, dog, puss, cat, anything in the vicinity must dead. And they deaded it off, blew the dude's truck up, they had to identify him by his ring. And motherfuckers is all on there like, that's not an act of terrorism. If that ain't an act of terrorism, then what is? What's the definition? Somebody tell me. Oh yeah, well, he was a bad guy. So you just blew him up? What happened to due process?
Bro, that's what I'm saying. Esau, when it comes to Esau, he sets all these laws and parameters for everyone else. Then when it comes to him, he's just like, Trump's just like, yeah, he was a bad man. Yeah. He was gonna kill America.
But no evidence. They didn't provide no evidence or no proof. That the way they made it sound like he was some nigga about to do a drive-by and they rolled up on him. That he was about to commit a sinister act. What was he about to do, a drive-by? Because he was in his truck. What was he? Did he have a couple, hey, yeah, we're gonna kill these Americans. We're gonna roll up on this embassy. And that nigga wasn't doing no drive-by. He's going to some brothel somewhere. And they blew his ass up, man. Esau, man. Go on, man.
It says, wickedness in the house of the wicked.
What's the house of the wicked, man? Yeah, what's that?
This nigga's looking like after that fire hit.
His hand was leaning out. His hand was leaning out the whip.
It's greased, like. Bro, man got roasted, like.
That's Esau, but them Christians are all defend Trump. all them Christians are defending the actions. And it gets you vexed. I was watching this shit getting vexed because Vocab Malone, as soon as a Hebrew, a crazy Hebrew goes and kills someone, they're jumping on it. Oh, these Hebrews, look, one Hebrew killed one man. Oh, look. These people are the worst cult in the history of the planet Earth. But then these man could just obliterate a man and 20 other man, and then it's just cool. We ain't never done nothing like that. But it's okay. So the Esau's done nothing but wickedness. That's how he's raised up all his money. He went over to the coast of Africa, to Ghana, Nigeria, all these places, just rape, robbing, and murdering, just amassing money like a game. Imagine you playing a game and you're just making money. That's what Esau's been doing, man. Making money, and at no point did he say, you know, I've made enough, let me just chill. No, man, make up Amazon, got guys working for fucking $5 an hour and all kind of crazy. Man ain't gonna stop, man. He gonna keep going. He wants to keep maximizing them profits out here. That's why he's gonna be destroyed, man. Read that.
It says, shall I count them pure with the wicked balances and with the bag of deceitful weights?
Right, that's his money, so he don't even pay you the right weight. Right. He don't even pay you with something that's worth actual money. Meanwhile, he's got everything that's worth anything. He's got the lands in his possession. He's got all the resources. And if you have a resource in your possession, he gonna come and take it from you, man.
What was it? I'm gonna say is my man is what was it? Everything of worth. Shit.
No worries, we won't get it back. That's it on that. Get the Habakkuk, the second chapter. You got that? Let's read that. Because we're at the point where Esau, see, the Lord has set up in Esau's mind to keep going. He gonna keep going. Esau ain't gonna stop. He's got his mind set on a thing and he's gonna go for it. But the scriptures say what? The wicked is snared by the workings of their own hands. Yeah. The wicked have dig a pit and he gonna fall into it. So Esau's gonna keep doing what he's meant to do. He ain't gonna stop and wait. All of a sudden become some pacifist. Esau gonna keep warmongering until that he gonna start a war that he ain't gonna finish. Or a war that's gonna finish him, I should say. Boy.
It says Habakkuk chapter 2 verse 6. Shall not all these take up a
we get titillated thinking about World War III. We get hella titillated, man. I got, maybe I should speak for myself. I get titillated. I get titillated thinking about the judgment, man. Because you deserve it, man. You need it bad. You Edomites need it bad. The world needs some fire and judgment. Bad.
I remember what I'm gonna say is Esau, he nabs all these resources, steals all this wealth, and builds his society off it.
Evil
then
empire.
he just says, oh, we're just better than everyone else. Yeah. I'm like, nigga, you went around raping, robbing, murdering everyone, impoverished everyone else, enslaved them, and then built up yourself, and then you're like, oh yeah, we're just better. No, that's not how that works, my man.
Well,
Shall not all these take up a parable against him and a taunted proverb against him?
Now the beautiful thing is that the mainstream ain't gonna show you that, but a lot of people are waking up to Esau, man. A lot of people in Africa, Asia, even among Jake, there's a lot of people waking up to this devil, man. Getting woke about this devil and what they're up to. There's a lot of, I speak to Jake, little West African Jakes, and they be telling us about France. And everybody knows about France's game is up. Everybody doesn't know. If you're in a French-speaking country in Africa, you already know that what France has been doing. That's why they're getting hurt now, because now they're trying to play friendly, and everyone's looking, nah, you're the devil. So they're starting to get cut off. Because this devil ain't stopped the games that he's been playing, man. And that's what we've been telling you, man. This devil ain't never changed. You can't show me the year when he stopped being a devil. Because you so-called Negroes shouldn't be living in ghettos. Esau has the money and the resources to make it right. Understand that. Esau's got the money, just like how we could get the money and the resources at any one time and build a nuke that costs like $2 billion. You know how much it costs? You see, niggas don't know nothing, man. You know how much it costs to build one of them fucking F-35s, man? Do you know how much the R&D costs? Do you know how much it costs to build it? Do you know how much it costs to maintain it year by year?
Shit, don't even
that's why people are getting what you call it, Theresa May was going to stop funding for like 4 years for the Trident missile system, and then they were just like, oh, it's billions of pounds. They're like, no, we can't stop. I'm like, you don't realize, hold on, billions.
So
just for 4 years.
What could that do to Jake in London or Birmingham that's been catching hell? Because our people Esau ain't never done nothing for us, man. And that's what you don't understand. Fuck a job. We had jobs. It was called slavery. What the fuck, man?
Be grateful.
For fuck a job, we had jobs. If it was about jobs, then we've always had jobs. A fucking job. Now, like, what we wanted is power, resources, sovereignty. Esau ain't never give us that, and he has the power to. Right now, today, they could just say, look, man, we're gonna give you this land, we're gonna give you this amount of capital, we're gonna show you how to get shit done, and we're gonna leave your ass alone. But Esau ain't gonna do that, man. Black Wall Street, what happened when Jake tried to get a little thing going and do something for himself? Esau blew it up, man. He blew it up like how they blew up my man, fucking Soleimani, man. Go on, bring it out.
Hosea 12:7, he is a merchant, the balances of deceit are in his hand.
Esau's always about money, man. Esau makes sure whatever he do, he make money off the top. He's a merchant, man.
Ain't no industry Esau ain't making money off the top, man.
Even the drugs, even the so-called drug industry, you think niggas run that? Nah, crackers run that, man. This cracker, he runs all the heroin. He's been running it. He's been running it since the opium wars, man.
Yeah, that's why were the wars fought? About some fucking opium. And the thing is no one even thinks about it. And they even use that, it was used as a war tactic. Same thing with like cracker epidemic. They did this, the British Empire did the same thing with China, man. They got all the Chinese hooked on opium to fuck them up.
Yes,
Oh shit.
it says, he loveth to oppress.
Like,
What is wrong with this turn, man?
bro, that was luck.
They were death.
Yeah, it says, he is a merchant, the balances of deceit are in his hand, he loveth to oppress.
He loves it to oppress. Esau's all about oppression, man. It's like the brothers from Texas always go into, man. No one has been able to basically live in a mutually beneficial situation with this devil. No one. No one. Like, you can't get a mutually beneficial deal out of this man. He ain't trying to, if there's 100 there, he wants the 100. He ain't trying to like give you no 50-50 or no 60-40 or in the deal. Esau want to take the whole 100. Even if he give you the 20, he'll be like, yeah, hold this 20, and then he coming back for that 20, man. Fuck that, he coming back for 30. That's a loan. That's the nature of this devil, man. That's how this devil operates. That's why you got something called the first world. This is why it exists. It doesn't exist because Esau is just so smart. It exists because he's an oppressor. He ain't giving nobody a fair deal.
Like a slot machine.
He'd rather be a trillionaire and have people living in the dirt where he could just be a millionaire, still be balling out of control, but other people can live. Now he's like, nah, fuck that. I'm gonna be a trillionaire and you're gonna be nothing. That's it.
But the funny thing is, you mentioned Bezos. It's like my man's multi-billionaire. It's like I think Amazon might still be the biggest company. And the thing is, all he can pay is like living wage for all his staff. Then basically is the whole company of Amazon is going to run 10 times better. Yep. But he don't give a fuck.
Nah,
There's
it's all about
you get the package. Man. The package is fucked up.
Esau scar, man. Esau gonna juice you till there ain't nothing left. That's how he rolls, man.
Habakkuk 2:6.
Well, we in Habakkuk, brother.
Oh,
keep reading Habakkuk.
No, I don't know a precept.
Okay, bring it up.
Back in Habakkuk 2:6.
Obadiah 1:5. If thieves came to thee, if robbers by night, how art thou cut off? Would they not have stolen till they had enough? If grape gatherers came to thee, would they not leave some grapes?
Yeah, but Esau, when the Most High deal with Esau, Esau's gonna lose everything, man.
Yeah. I saw there was a story as well where what do you call it? There was a vineyard over in, I think it was France, or maybe it was America. I think it was American vineyard. Someone came in and nabbed most of the grapes, but they left enough for like 2 bottles of wine or 3 bottles of wine. So you know, even they left some.
But Esau ain't gonna leave you shit, man. Like my man Claude Anderson was bringing out when Jake came out of slavery, they had 0.5% of the wealth in America, and they still got 0.5% to this very day. And that's including with Dr. Dre and Oprah and all these niggas you want to applaud as being the success stories. When you look at the facts, that is a man that don't give a fuck. That's a man that don't give a fuck. They stood there and watched the crack epidemic unfold. That's why my man Chappelle had to talk about it. They didn't give a fuck. In fact, furthermore to that, they said, you know what? We're going to add to the pain. We're going to take you and put you in jail for being on drugs. We're gonna criminalize it.
And it's still going on to this day.
But now they're trying to turn it into a medical issue because these crackers are getting hooked on these opioids, man.
If I could say on
Which that came from Esau's medical industry, giving them opioids for these are weak ass crackers, man.
Yeah, no,
Cracker
for real.
stump his toe, put him on an opioid, man.
Then he's hooked.
if I could say, on the Netflix documentary Explained, the first episode is the racial wealth gap, and they're basically saying how whatever president said 48 acres of land and a mule, whatever. But a year later, a year after the end of slavery, they were saying that whites, you know, these Edomites were being oppressed. They were like, wait, how comes these blacks get to have a 40 acres of land and a mule? And a year after slavery, you can't make this shit up, man.
Yeah, that's why they never gave Jake that 40 acres and a mule, because then Jake would become independent, man.
Yeah.
And they would have come back with the gun anyway and took it back from Jake, because that's Esau's spirit, man.
And the thing is land is a big part of how you build your own wealth.
Yeah.
That's why you mentioned earlier with the slaves.
Oh, get Deuteronomy 32 and 8. That's why the Most High gave everyone their own land, man.
Starts with that.
But Esau ain't trying to divide the world up, and Esau wants it all, man. I want it all. You know what I mean?
I got something.
He's a super villain.
Yeah, calm, bring it out.
Jeremiah 50:11 it says, because ye were glad, because ye rejoiced, O ye destroyers of mine heritage, because ye were grown as fat as the heifer at grass and bellow as bulls.
Fat. Esau's living fat. Is that you on that?
Yeah, that's
Deuteronomy, yeah, I got that as well. This is Deuteronomy 32 and 8. Where the Most High divided to the nations their inheritance.
The Most High get every nation of people their inheritance, their land with their respective resources. That's in the scriptures. And you weren't supposed to take another man's land. Facts. When we came out of Egypt, the Lord said, yo, see them Ammonites and them man there, you're not to touch their land. That's their land that I've given them. That was in the scriptures. The Lord said, nah, that's their land. I got a land for you. But these guys, they got their own land. That's how you're supposed to operate. Respect a man's land. Nah, Esau would come and just take the land.
Even amongst the tribes, like if when the inheritance, and they only had daughters, the daughters couldn't marry out of the tribe.
Because having your own land is very important, man. Because it gives you an option. It gives you options. Jake ain't got no fucking options.
Benefits.
Because they ain't got nothing. They ain't got nothing to do for themselves. Land is where you. In fact, land is where you get wealth from. How do we know that? Because even the Greek god of wealth is who? Hades. And Hades is what? Hell, which is what? The ground, Plutos. Right? There's a reason for that. Now, he don't exist, Hades don't exist, but it's because they knew the knowledge that all wealth comes from the ground. Yeah?
From the ground.
All resources come from the ground.
That's
Minerals, trees grow out the ground.
Lot and Abraham,
Now a guy might say, what about meteorites? It's like,
Oh shit.
But Lot and Abraham, they got in contention because there wasn't enough ground for them to both feed
yeah, because your animals come on from the ground. So the ground is a source of wealth. It's a source of sustenance for yourself. Now, if you ain't got your own land, then you relying on someone else who has the land, who has that source of goodness. That's why the Most High, when he took us out of Egypt, you gotta understand, what did he do? What do we know? He gave us a land for ourselves, and we had money, we had capital, and we had slaves. We had hewers of wood and drawers of water. And that's how we managed to build ourselves up. Then we put the other nations as tributaries. But not like how Esau, you weren't ruling like, you had, because if that was the case, then nations wouldn't have been, you had nations that came from far that was like, yo, Solomon, just listen, man, we'll pay you, just tell us what to do. We need that knowledge, we need that wisdom of how to run shit. So here, they were they were like, yo, we want to, now if Solomon was moving like east, can you show me the nation of people that would travel around the world to have please, Trump. Them man are like, nah, we're resisting. Them man are over there in Iran like death to America. Right. They're like, we don't want to be oppressed no more. No one has ever done good underneath you, man. Look at you want to talk about you saving the world. Look at the so-called Negroes, and they're in your country. You want to fix and police the world, and you got Jake living in ghettos that look worse than the third world. And you ain't doing nothing for them. You ain't done nothing for them for hundreds of years. And we're meant to believe you go and save the world? You can't even save fucking Jake. In America, man. Fuck out of here, man. Go on.
So,
He set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel. For the Lord's portion.
The Lord portioned us out first. And we got the choice land, which is the land of Israel, which is at the center. Because the center of the world is Israel, man. Fuck vocab, man. And vocab, man, listen, your time, listen, I hope you get conscripted, my man. I hope you get conscripted. You be shitting yourself on them ships, man. I hope you get conscripted, vocab. Yeah? Hey, man, the Lord is good, man. He's gonna do all you guys that's coming up against us. The Lord's got some terrors coming your way, man. And you're gonna remember we told you. Your whole world is gonna be flipped upside down. You're playing these fucking little games with your little YouTube videos. We already know this YouTube video is gonna get shut down. It's you that don't know that.
We knew that from the jump, man.
I told you, we're titillated. We're extremely titillated thinking about this, man. Go on,
The Lord's portion is his people. Jacob is the law of his inheritance. He found him in a desert land and in the waste howling wilderness. He led him about, he instructed him, he kept him as the apple of his eye.
Right, and then the Lord gave us what? That goodly land. Esau ain't never give us no goodly land. So fuck Esau, man. Go on.
Psalms 49 and 11. Their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own names.
Yeah, they captured everyone's lands and taking them over and doing what they want to do, man. Manipulating everyone, man. All right, let's go back to Habakkuk 2.
Habakkuk 2:6. And it says, shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his.
That's how they've made their increase. These Edomites have increased themselves by a wicked oppression, by taking that which don't belong to them, man. These are the facts that we know, and they never stopped doing that because their corporate system, well, after they went from the chattel slavery system, their new capitalistic corporate system, industrial revolution system, right, was exactly the same. It was very oppressive, right? And the wealth was being all redistributed to the 1%.
Yeah.
Then you had a couple, you know, the little underling dudes that you might know about. The little underlings that are making a couple mil here and there. But the majority of the people are what? They're washed, man. Especially our people, man. Where have we benefited from all this? Even though we've made the inventions, where's our intellectual property rights that we should be caking up off? Esau getting all the intellectual property rights and caking up off inventions for the next 2,000 years, man.
And it was intellectual property was only meant to last 70 years. No, it was meant to last shorter than that, like, until he died, basically. But it only got extended for Disney, because Mickey Mouse, every time he goes in, it would come to the point where Mickey Mouse would be an open, like, basically open so anyone can use him. Then Disney got it extended. So it's once again, Esau, he set rules for everyone else. Yeah. When it comes to him, nah, you can't fuck with it.
Yeah, Esau love making money, man. Alright?
Woe to him that increaseth that which is not his. How long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay.
That heavy debt, man. Right? And Esau owe everybody in every way, man, especially beginning with blood. You owe blood, man, because Esau's done a lot of skullduggery, man. We can't sit here and go through all the wickedness that Esau's done because it's too much. It's too much. Too many people, too many continents, too many animals. Right? We could start from the Pacific Islands and that's a whole history in itself. You know, we go to China, that's a history. Go to Japan, that's a history. You know, India, that's a history. Them Indians will tell you all the time, yeah, them bloody bastards, you know.
Precept. That's part and parcel why all nations are gonna hate the whore.
And that's why they ain't gonna give a fuck about Esau, man. A lot of people ain't feeling sorry for Esau. They're looking at these mans like, yo, everyone's trying to, you know what, man, these men need to get something that's coming to them. Like, even them guys, you notice you don't get a lot of heathens coming up against the Hebrew Israelites. You ever notice that? Because a lot of times, we be getting love from them I'll be getting love from them heathens, man. I ain't even gonna lie. They be like, I'll be getting love from Muslims, like, and I'll be watching videos when I'm cursing them out. They be like, yeah, you know, yeah, you were going in. But I kinda agreed with what you were saying about that. I'm not even joking, man. They be like, yeah, them crackers. Everyone, look, man. They be watching the Hebrews. They be like, you know what? Man just said I'm going into slavery, but that part about them crackers, man, that shit is for real. Yeah. Come on, everybody knows this man is the devil. I'm telling you, when I'm at work, everyone be looking around. Ain't no cracker there. All the nations are there talking shit about Esau. Then as soon as the cracker come in the room, man gonna be like, yeah, switch back to talking